Hey, so I feel bad moving on when so many people have like sort of fallen behind, but I'm like the person at the head of the pack, like, come on! No man left behind! We have to keep moving and making videos. So that's how I feel. But this week's topic is disclosure and dating. And I kind of already established my dating history in the last video, so I'm gonna kind of like talk more about stealth and outness and disclosure because I've never really had to disclose to someone I've been dating because, as I said before, current girlfriend I met at a women in gender studies conference focused on transgender issues, and I had introduced myself as trans. And my ex-boyfriend met me in a queer theory class where I talked about being trans, and yeah, so I pretty much have been out with everyone before they even knew me. And yeah, so as far as disclosure, I haven't had a huge bit, like, not that many issues with it because basically everyone knows me where I live. I come from a small town, went to college in that same small town. I have still not left that small town. Everyone here has known me pretty much since I was 2, or if they're college age, they've known me since I was 18. Yeah. And people gossip, word gets around. Most people know I'm trans. But I am stealth in some of my classes, and that's where I want to point out that stealth out, not a binary. It's like a continuum, or I don't know. Outness is fluid. So I'm out in some situations and stealth in other situations. For instance, I am stealth in one of my women in gender studies classes. And that's a weird situation. I am out to the professor because I've had her for several classes, and I'm out to 2 or 3 of my friends in that class, but it's like a class of 25 or something, and most people don't know that I'm trans. And I decided to do this kind of on a whim, but mostly because I think it's none of their business, most of them. And I don't really know these people, and I just don't feel like having that discomfort. More than that, I feel like they wouldn't be able to have some of the conversations they have if they knew that they knew a trans person, or even if they knew that there was a trans person in the room. Also, I feel like I've done my fair share of educating. I'm a women in gender studies minor and have been out in almost all of my courses, and I taught a course on gender variance as part of a student initiated class program. So I kind of wanted to take a break from educating people, particularly since I really like this professor and I know she can do a fine job at educating them. And so, as soon as people find out I'm trans, usually in classes, it's suddenly like, let me ask all these really personal questions to you that aren't really related to the theories we're discussing, or they'll ask me questions that should be directed at the professor, because I must be an expert. So yeah, I didn't feel like going through that. I might come out to some of them if I feel like it is worth the awkwardness of them being like, oh my god, tell me about your genitals. Just like how a lot of people sometimes respond to that. So anyway, um, so I'm stealth in that class. It's been interesting. I'm stealth in a couple of other my other classes and out in some of them. Pretty much all of my senior level classes I'm out in because I'm like, I know these people, and pretty much all my like lower level classes that I'm taking just for fun or for my minors, I'm not out in. Mostly because it's like, seriously, you don't need to know. If I'm not friends with you, you don't need to know. But if you do find out or already know, I'm cool with that. That's kind of my stance. As for the major disclosure in my life, the major disclosure in my life that I've been facing for the past 10 months is whether or not and how to tell my girlfriend's mom. I've never worried about coming out to parents because they always were like, my kid's dating a lesbian, or in my ex-boyfriend's case, my son who's gay is dating a former woman. I don't know, and for some reason that wasn't a huge deal to me because he wasn't super close to his mom, and it just like she had never really entered into our relationship. I never met his mom, so suddenly it's like, oh, this is awkward. Her mom has met me like 5 times, but it's all been since I was 6 months on T or more. So she just, as far as I'm aware, thinks that my girlfriend is dating a short boy with a baby face who has gay tendencies. That is sort of the impression that I think I've given her, which sucks because I, I mean, I don't know, but I'm nervous about this. I've been nervous about this pretty much since we met, and I was like, "So, have you told your mom?" It's like, no. So, at a certain point, it becomes like lying by omission. But then, as my girlfriend has pointed out, it hasn't exactly come up. So, we really don't know how to handle this situation. And I've talked about this probably a million times. It's one of my biggest anxieties is that if we don't tell her, it will come out at the worst possible time. My biggest fear is that it'll come out during our wedding because one of my family members or friends will slip up and call me my old name or she, and then all the heads will turn and there will be a huge fight and things will be broken and we'll get divorced the day we got married. That is my worst fear. So yeah, disclosure can be really scary. First off, that disclosure is scary because I think that that would be my girlfriend's responsibility, and so I have like a complete lack of control over how it will go. Because I definitely don't feel comfortable talking about that with her mom, considering I don't feel comfortable talking about most things with most people's moms. I'm not particularly close to her family yet. I mean, haven't really gotten the chance to be, so it would be awkward. I mean, yeah. So, um, disclosure is scary. I've disclosed a few times. I have disclosed to I was went to a conference and I made some really close friends there, and I disclosed to one of the guys, and uh, I usually wait for it to be a safe situation in a safe space. So I disclosed when I found out that he was gay, and we were at a queer event, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm at this queer event, even though I talk about my girlfriend all the time. That's because I'm trans." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I've met trans people. I have a really good friend who's trans." I was like, "Things are working out for me. Luck." So yeah, but disclosing in other situations at home, I generally just don't care if people know. This is going to be totally different next year when I go to grad school, hopefully. And I'm going to be a little more stealth. But yeah, I guess I don't really have a lot of advice. I want to hear other people's advice, so give advice. But and talk about this issue because I am really interested in starting a conversation about this. But yeah, those are my situations.